welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you like this video. So the book world is all about reading new books of different writers and of different genres, and I share my reviews out to you, which I also use in my daily life, and how these lessons have had good impact to my understanding and thought process. So with that, today's review is on The Glass Menagerie, which is by Tennessee Williams. So it is The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. So this book is a comprehensive study. This is not the play. So you can get hands on the play, which is available on any online platform. You can get it available on the offline bookstores as well. But this book is written by me and it is also available on Amazon. It's a comprehensive study, so you get to have a more detailed insight of the play and what my understanding are of this book. So with that, we see that this play, which is written by Tennessee Williams, is of a great importance in the American 20th century literature. However, it has been included in many syllabus of today's curriculum, and we see that the reason why Tennessee Williams is so popular is because of his narrative style, his intention. So, primarily, we know of Tennessee Williams as a popular American 20th century playwright and a screenwriter. So, this becomes one of his popular books, the earliest book, which got him the fame and name and success in his literary career. And after this book, we see more number of popular novels and plays and short plays are coming up. So this becomes the crux of his success. And personally, I feel that there are many autobiographical reflections out here, and I would like to call this play a semi autobiographical play. Now, strikingly, this has become very interesting because, for while I am reading this play, while I am, studying and writing this book, I thought that, okay, there is a stark reflection of Tennessee Williams on this particular play. So, while I was studying the historical parameters of Tennessee, I saw that, okay, this person you know had this success only because he had been such a keen person who was always inquisitive about new things in life, who had gone through so much of troubles and failures, and that have allowed him to come up being a successful writer. So he has been inquisitive, he had deep interests in reading, writing and theatrical art. He was a prolific student when he was young, and also he was, as a person, very patient, a giver, and somebody who looks out for people. It's somebody who is there for people. So on the personal front, we see that the writer Tennessee, who grew up as a successful writer during the 20th century, we saw that he was living in a dysfunctional family. So, primarily, it was a nuclear family, and it included his father, mother, and two siblings. And while you are reading this particular play, you will see that there is there the emotions there, the dialogues are quite reflective of his own life. So his father is Cornelius Williams, his mother is Edwina Williams, and two other siblings with whom he was too close were Walter Williams and Rose Williams. Now, just to give you a parallel representation of the play, so we have this absent father here, which is the Wingfield family, the father figure of the Wingfield family. So we have Mr. Wingfield, who we do not see performing as a character. He is totally absent. We just have a perspective of him through the eyes of the narrator. So then there is the mother, who is Amanda, and then there is a sister to the central character. So we see that Tom becomes Tennessee, Tennessee's mother Edwina becomes Amanda, and Tennessee's father becomes Mr. Wingfield, and Tennessee's sister Rose becomes Laura. So we do not have the other sibling Walter to see in this play. Now what happens? So it's a very interesting play. Now in the personal life also we see that so many troubles and traumas and stress and anxiety is going on in Tennessee's life. So first of all, we see that Tennessee's father is working as a shoe salesman. So mostly he spends the hours outdoor. But when he comes back home, we see that he becomes more abusive, violent. He's not a family-oriented man. And because of his, heavy alcoholism, heavy intake of toxic substances, we see that his behavior towards his family was becoming more, unlikely, more unpredictable. And since Tennessee's mother had no option but to endure the failures of marriage, the unhappy married life, because she wanted her children to grow up. She did not want to leave them behind. Now, Edwina was in a very disturbing state of mind. She had to raise her children. Also, she had to go through this brutal, violent, abusive behavior of her husband. So Edwina becomes extremely fragile and malleable after some time. On the other hand, we see that Tennessee becomes, he's very studious, he's a learner, he's inquisitive, he's keen to know everything, and he's growing his interest in writing and theatre. But he also has responsibilities towards his family. Now, gradually, we see that his siblings, Rose and Walter, were also suffering from some sort of mental disorders, mental, disturbances. Because of this dysfunctionality that they have in their family, they were facing some sort of mental imbalance. That was taken care of much by Tennessee Williams. Now, what happened? That this dysfunctionality is kind of reflected in the play, which is the Glass Menagerie. Now, in Glass Menagerie, what do we find is that there is a narrator who is also a character named Tom. Now, Tom's mother is who? It is Amanda. Then we have Tom's sister Laura, and then we have the absent father, which is Mr. Wingfield. So, from the family of Mr. Williams, we move to the family of the play family, which is Mr. Wingfield family. Now, this father figure here has escaped. He has left these people in the family with little to subside, and he escapes. Now the whole responsibility comes upon on Tom financially and on the mother to raise her children. Now Amanda is quite puzzled and she is, dependent on Tom and whatever her husband had kept them with. So now the setting is St. Louis. The setting and the location is St. Louis, and not many locations do we see here because everything, the screenplay that is happening here, I mean, when you read this play, you will feel that okay, there is a stage act which is going, there is a theatrical performance, and you are seeing not as a, you are not reading as a reader, but you are reading it as an audience. You see those, visuals in your mind the more you read them. So it becomes an audio visual act in your mind while you, and that is what is distinguishable of Tennessee, that what separates him from the other writers of his time. So the moment you start reading the plays of Tennessee Williams, you see that okay, the stage directions is, as if somebody's directing the characters on the stage. It is so well narrated. Now with that, we see that coming back to the play, so Tom has to bear all the financial responsibilities. So we see that after the father figure has escaped, so Tom is working at a warehouse where he gets whatever number of, penny, he gives it to his mother and gives a very quantum quantity to himself. And we see that Tom is excessively interested in writing, reading, watching movies, and aspiring to come out of this family burden and to become a successful individual like Tennessee. So, now when you have this burden of, pulling your family out of the financial constraint, you have to, kind of restrict your desires, personal desires. Somewhere you tend to lose your individual interest, and that happens with Tom. Now, Tom here becomes the narrator. Now, when he's narrating, we are in the present situation. We see what is going on in the apartment of the Wingfield family. Now, when he's a character, again he takes us back to the past, to his memory lanes. So, where he used to, talk about what happened, the events and incidents. So, we see Tom both as a narrator and as a character. So, imagine how well thought it was of Tennessee. Imagine he has built a character who is narrating us, and we are in the present situation, understanding the perspectives and actions of Amanda and Rose, and then he's taking us back through his memories, where we are reliving the characters, events, and incidents back. So we are in the constant juggles. It doesn't become boring. It always gives you that hint of stay with the plot, read more. So that is what makes this play extremely interesting, and that is why it is also called a memory play. Now, coming back to the characters again, we see that Tom is working. He's overburdened with family responsibilities. He's unable to fulfill his own desires. Now, he has a friend named Jim O'Connor. Now, Jim has been a very good, association of Tom, who is also of a great influence in the character. Though he's a minor character, he comes within a very short span of time. And we'll come to Jim O'Connor later, it's just to give you an idea. Then we come back to Amanda, who is the mother. Now, Amanda is, overprotective of her children, and, is constantly pushing Tom to do more, and pushing Laura, her daughter, to, complete her graduation, pursue her higher studies so that she can also, provide help to the family. Now we see that Laura is suffering from leprosis. She's crippled on her leg. So that makes her more fragile, less of there is less of confidence in her, because she's suffering through this deformed kind of, you can say, yeah, she's crippled, so deformed body. So she is very conscious about her movements, her bodily functions, the way she's responding and meeting new people. So she starts, clogging herself in her room. And that is where we see that there is a fight between Amanda and Laura going on. So Laura stops going to her classes. She does not attend the classes anymore, and she hides it from her mother because she did not want to upset her mother, and she knew that if she gets to know, she will also be furious. Now, on one hand, Laura is becoming more introvert, becoming more, is crumbling to her own self because of a lack of confidence, and she is also unable to show those emotions out to her mother. But eventually, the mother, Amanda, finds out that Laura has been lying to her and has been hiding that she is attending her classes. Now, when it is found out, we see that again the motherly instinct comes. So then, after the fight, the battle, she explains Laura that if she doesn't find herself a good stability, then she will be unhappy forever. So she says, okay, if you don't want to pursue higher studies, then you need to do something that is going to fetch the family with some good. And also, she pushes her to find a gentleman suitor, somebody whom she can get married to and live a fortunate life. So she's like, okay, if you don't want to pursue your higher studies, that's fine, but at least find yourself a suitor, a good suitor who can give you a good life. So Okay, then she accepts her mother's proposal and she says, okay, then I am okay if you can find me any suitor. Now, Amanda pledges to Tom. She requests Tom that, if where he works, if he could find somebody, eligible, good, understanding towards Laura, who could be a good partner to Laura. And now this character Jim comes. Now, Jim and Laura were in the same batch. Now, when the first time when Laura in her college sees Jim O'Connor, she had a crush. So she grows a bond towards. She grows a this attraction, a kind of very unlikely bond with Jim, and which Jim was unaware of. Only the reader or the audience are aware that okay, Laura feels something about Jim, and she's afraid to express it because she knows that she will be rejected because of her deformity, because of her leprosis. Now, when Jim comes as a suitor, then we see that Laura becomes extremely excited and she is surprised that how come Jim is a friend of Tom and I never knew it. And she is taken aback by her emotions once again. And we see that when Jim and Laura were talking about their experiences, and she's expressing that she had a liking towards Jim in during her college time. So that time, Jim is overwhelmed. And one thing that is very kind of a good quality, a good talent in Laura is that she used to make these glass figurines. That is why it is named the Glass Menagerie, because these menageries, these figurines, were made solely uh, by the hands of Laura. So she loved making this little glass figurines, unicorn and other animals. And one of them, she made it for Jim, and it was her favorite. It was a unicorn, a glass unicorn. Unicorn are exquisite. It's something that is superficial, and she gives this glass figurine to Jim O'Connor. But somehow, while they were talking and dancing in the room, the glass figurine falls and it breaks, and that is where we see that the play reaches its end. So this breaking of the glass unicorn kind of represents that there is a twist in the plot. So what happens is that when she finally expresses her feelings towards Jim, we find that Jim is saying that I cannot continue this. I already have somebody whose name is Bella, and I have to marry her because I have a girlfriend. And while hearing this, it just broke Laura's confidence once more, hope, the faith of having somebody in her life. And that breaking of the glass unicorn represents the breaking of her heart, the breaking of her hope, the breaking of her desire. So we see the characters are once again coming back to their original self. Amanda is hopeless about her daughter getting married. She's also annoyed that Tom was not aware of that Jim and Laura had an association. She had feelings towards Jim, and somehow what his actions have been affecting Laura's expectations. So she's kind of blaming Tom of not being too close to her sister, not understanding her. And on the other hand, she is also worried about Laura ever getting stable in her life financially and emotionally. So, together we see that this disturbing perspectives, this, a lack of individual fulfillment is constantly proliferating and shadowing the plot. However, there is more to the play. So I wish you read it. So I just gave you a fair outline that why I like this, and why do I find this play, this story so interesting, and that I came here to recommend to you all. So what are the three things that I have learned out from this play? First is that how very important it is to know yourself, know your inner feeling, know what you are here for. So if you are not aware of what you are here for, you will never be able to succeed in life. You will be constantly, in a confused state of mind where you will be, never find the pathway of fulfillment. So the very first thing is that you need to know yourself, your strength, your weakness, and what all you can do, even if you are of able mind or of a disabled body, because we all are given with some sort of unique qualities, and when you are unable to find it, it becomes difficult for you to lead your path. So very important is to know yourself, to utilize every possible talent, skills you have to yourself. Now the second thing is that the lack, what happens when you have lack of confidence. So when you, even if you are crippled by your body, even if there are other deformities, even if you are anxious, you are depressed, there is nothing fatality about it. There is nothing so unhappy about it. Everybody has problem. Everybody is suffering and going through something or the other. But it is that confidence in you, that you know understanding of your conscience, the idea of working more, beyond that, makes you who you are. So you have to understand that, okay, I have this physical issue, I have this mental issue, I have this financial issue, no matter what you have. But at the end of the day, you are an individual who has certain desire, who has a certain interest, who has certain number of other purposes to do, and for that you need confidence. No matter who you are, in any shape you are, you have to be confident. And the third and the most important thing is that what it takes to, you know, bind a family, what it takes to, build any sort of relationship. So when you are in this capitalist society where you are constantly in a hustle bustle of earning, earn this much income, this much, we try to disconnect with the people we are living in. So it is important, to not break the communication, to not break the association after a certain period of time. So no matter wherever you are, whatever you are doing, how busy you are, you should keep coming back for the people who have stood by, people who have been close to you, people who have been looking out for you. So that is what the play, kind of gives you a kind of sound morals in today's 21st century. So with that, I will not make the video long. I hope you like the video. Thank you.